Hello, children. This is Dr. Minithavan, and today I have brought for you CBSE Class 10 Geography, Chapter 4 Agriculture. Today we will be learning about major crops grown in India. A variety of food and non food crops are grown in different parts of India depending upon the variations in soil, climate, and cultivation practices. Major crops grown in India are rice, wheat, millets, pulses, tea, coffee, sugarcane, oilseeds, cotton, jute, etc. Now we will discuss all of these one by one in detail. So, first is rice. Rice is a routine food in India. It is a kharif crop. India ranks second in the production of rice in the world after China. The temperature, it is grown in humid conditions where normal temperature is more than 25 degrees centigrade. Rice is a kharif crop that needs more than 100 centimeter annual rainfall. It can also be grown if there is no rainfall and there is sufficient water for irrigation. Mainly, rice is grown in north and northeastern parts of India, coastal areas, and deltaic regions. Punjab, Haryana, and some parts of Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan are growing rice crops by irrigating land through canals and tube wells, etc. Next important crop is wheat. Wheat is a rabi crop. It is the second most important crop in India. It is the main food crop in north and northwestern parts of India. Wheat needs cool climate during its growth and warm climate means bright sunshine at the time of ripening. It needs 50 to 75 centimeters of annual rainfall, which should be evenly distributed over the growing season. Now, if we will see, wheat is mostly grown in Ganga Satluj plains in northwest and black soil region of Deccan. These are the two main wheat growing zones in India. Now, the states, if we will look here, will be Punjab, Haryana, UP, Bihar, Rajasthan, and MP. They are the main producer of wheat. Next is millets. In India, we have got three types of millets: jowar, bajra, and ragi. They are important millets, and these are also called coarse grains, means cereal grains. Other than rice and wheat, these are called cereal grains and have very high nutritional value. Main millets in India, I have told you, are ragi, jowar, and bajra. Now we'll be taking them one by one. Ragi, it's a crop of dry region. Ragi, it is rich in iron, calcium, carbohydrate, and other micronutrients. It grows well on red, black, sandy, loamy, and shallow black soils. Mainly, it is produced in Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, Jharkhand, and Arunachal Pradesh. Jowar is the third most important crop in India with the respect to area and production. It is a rain fed crop mostly grown in the moist areas. Important jowar producing states are Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, and MP. Bajra is one of the important crop in India. It is grown in sandy soil and shallow black. Both are suitable for bajra. It is mainly produced in Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Haryana. Now, next is maize. Maize is a kharif crop. It requires temperature between 21 degrees centigrade and 27 degrees centigrade and grows well in old alluvial soil. it is used both as food and fodder. Fodder means the animal food. So it is used both as the fodder and food crop. Major maize producing states are Karnataka, MP, UP, Bihar, Andhra Pradesh, and Telangana. Next crop which we will talk about is pulses. India is the largest producer and consumer of pulses in the world. Pulses are major source of protein in a vegetarian diet. Major pulses grown in India are tur, or as we call it arhar, urad, moong, masoor, peas, and gram. Pulses are mostly grown in rotation with other crops so that the soil restores fertility, means growing different crops in the same area one after another so that soil stays healthy and fertile. Major pulse producing states are uh, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, and Karnataka. Now we'll be talking about food crops other than grains. First, we'll be talking about sugarcane. Sugarcane is a tropical as well as subtropical crop. Therefore, it grows well in hot and humid climates with temperature range of 21 degrees centigrade to 27 degrees centigrades. It needs annual rainfall between 75 centimeter to 100 centimeter. In case of no rainfall, irrigation is required. It can be grown on variety of soils. It needs manual labor from sowing to harvesting. India is second largest producer of sugarcane after Brazil. Sugarcane is the main source of sugar, gur, khansari, and molasses. Now, the major areas where sugarcane is grown are UP, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Punjab, and Haryana. Next, we'll be talking about oil seeds. Different oil seeds are grown, covering approximately 12% of total cropped area of India. Main oil seeds produced in India are groundnut. It is a kharif crop and accounts for half of the major oil seeds produced in India. Gujarat is the largest producer of groundnuts. Next is mustard. It's a rabi crop. Then sesame or til. It is a kharif crop, and in the north it is grown in kharif season, and in South India it is grown in rabi season. So it is rabi as well as kharif crop. Then we can say about castor seeds. It is grown both as rabi and kharif crop. Linseed, it is a rabi crop. Coconut, soya bean, cotton seeds, sunflower. So these seeds, they give oil which is used for cooking and manufacturing of soaps, cosmetics, and ointments, etc. Next important crop which is grown in India is tea. It is also an important beverage crop. It was introduced by British in India. Now India is the third largest producer of tea after China and Turkey. The tea plant, it grows well in tropical and subtropical climates with deep and fertile, well drained soil, rich in humus and organic matter. Tea bushes, they require warm and moist, frost free climate all through the year. High rainfall throughout the year gives better growth. It needs skilled labor. Tea is a labor intensive industry, means abundant labor, more labor is required. Major tea producing states are Assam, hills of Darjeeling, Jalpaiguri district of West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala. Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Meghalaya, Andhra Pradesh, and Tripura have also started growing tea. Now, next beverage crop is coffee. India produces 3.2% of total coffee, which is produced in the world. And Indian coffee is known for its good quality. India produces Arabica variety of coffee, which came from Yemen. It has huge demand in the world market. It is cultivated on Baba Buddha Hills, Nilgiri in Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. Next, we'll be talking about horticulture crops. India is the large producer of horticulture crops such as vegetables and fruits. India produces 13% of world's vegetable production. Various vegetables are pea, cauliflower, onion, cabbage, tomato, brinjal, and potato. India produces both tropical as well as temperate fruits. Some of the famous horticulture crops or some of the famous horticulture fruits which are grown in India are mangoes of Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Uttar Pradesh, and West Bengal. Oranges are famous of Nagpur and Cherrapunji, Meghalaya. Bananas of Kerala, Mizoram, Maharashtra, and Tamil Nadu. Lychee and guava of UP and Bihar. Pineapples of Meghalaya. Grapes of Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and Maharashtra. Apples, pears, apricots, and walnuts of Jammu and Kashmir and Himachal Pradesh. So, now we'll come to non food crops. Rubber. First, we'll be talking about rubber. India is fourth largest producer of rubber in the world. Rubber is used as an important raw material in industries. Rubber is mainly an equatorial crop, but under suitable conditions can be grown in tropical and subtropical regions. It needs moist and humid climate with temperature more than 25 degrees centigrades. It needs annual rainfall of around 200 centimeter. In India, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Andaman and Nicobar Islands and Garo Hills of Meghalaya are important rubber producing regions. Next, we'll come to fiber crop. In India, cotton, jute, hemp, and natural silk are the four major fiber crops. Cotton, jute, and hemp is obtained by growing these crops in soil. Natural silk is obtained from cocoons of silkworm found especially on mulberry tree. Rearing of silkworms for the production of silk fiber is called sericulture. Cotton, it's a kharif crop which requires 6 to 8 months for its growth. Cotton is a main raw material for textile industries. India is believed to be a original home of cotton plant. India ranks second largest producer of cotton after China. Cotton grows well in black cotton soil of Deccan Plateau. Black soil, it is rich in humus, and cotton needs bright sunshine, high temperature, light rainfall, and dry climate for its growth. It requires around 210 frost-free days. In India, cotton is grown in Maharashtra, Gujarat, MP, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Punjab, Haryana, and Uttar Pradesh. Next is jute. Jute is known as golden fiber. It is required to make gunny bags, mats, ropes, carpets, and other artifacts. The use of jute is declining nowadays, means it is losing its market because of cheaper alternatives such as synthetic fibers like nylon, etc. Now, environmental conditions which are required for the growth of jute are it needs well drained fertile soil of floodplains and high temperature. This is required for the growth of jute. In India, if we will see that jute is grown in West Bengal, Bihar, Assam, Odisha, and Meghalaya. They are the main jute producing regions. Now, certain technological and institutional reforms took place in India. We will be talking about them now. Agriculture, it provides a livelihood for more than 60% of its population. So, this sector needs some serious technical and institutional reforms. The Government of India started introducing agriculture reforms in 1960s and 1970s. Consolidation of holdings means to bring together different pieces of land and merge them into one land. Cooperation and abolition of zamindari means landlord system. They were given consolidation of holdings, zamindari system, and cooperation. They were given priority to bring about institutional reforms in the country after independence. The Green Revolution, based on use of package technology, and the White Revolution were some of the strategies adopted to improve a lot of Indian agriculture. Now, Green Revolution, it is related with the cultivation of crops by using technology. White Revolution, it was to improve the breeds of animal for the growth in milk production with the use of modern technology. It is also called Operation Flood. Now, some initiatives were taken by the government. In 1980s and 1990s, a comprehensive land development program was initiated, which includes both institutional and technological reforms. Provision for crops, insurance against drought, flood, cyclone, fire and disease were there. Establishment of Grameen banks, cooperative societies, and banks for providing loan facilities to the farmers at the lower rate of interest. Schemes introduced by governments such as Kisan Credit Card or KCC, Personal Accidental Insurance Scheme means PAIS, they were introduced. Special weather bulletins and agricultural programs for the farmers on the radio and televisions were introduced. Land reform was the main focus of our first 5 year plan. The government also announced a minimum support price, remunerative and procurement prices. Remunerative means money paid for the work done, and procurement prices means financial assistance for the important crops to check the exploitation of the farmers by speculators and middlemen. Now we'll read the impact of globalization on agriculture. Globalization means to start operating on international level. Under globalization, we have seen that it's not a new phenomena, it's a very old phenomena. At the time of Britishers, when they came to India, and before that, India was global. Like Indian spices were exported to different countries of the world, and farmers of South India were encouraged to grow these crops. When European traders came to India, they came here in search of Indian spices only. So, globalization is not a new phenomena, it was there at the time of colonization also. Till today, one of the important items of export from India is cotton and spices. Under globalization, particularly after 1990, the farmers in India have been exposed to new challenges. Although being an important producer of rice, cotton, rubber, tea, coffee, jute, and spices, our agriculture products are unable to compete with the developed countries. because of highly subsidized agriculture in those countries. Subsidy is the money given by the government to keep the commodity price lower. Today, Indian agriculture is, is on crossroads. To make agriculture successful and profitable, proper support should be given to improve the condition of marginal and small farmers. Genetic engineering is revolutionizing the agriculture production nowadays. Genetic engineering is the way of inventing new hybrid varieties of seeds. Organic farming is also in fashion these days because it is practiced without factory made chemical such as fertilizers and pesticides, and it doesn't affect the health and environment in a negative manner. Indian farmers should diversify their cropping pattern from cereals to high value crops, which will increase the income and reduce environmental degradation simultaneously. So, with this, our chapter has come to its end. Very soon, we'll meet again with a new topic. Take care, stay safe. Goodbye.